edam grasami tapasa puna vivarmi tapasa vishvam viryame dushcharam tapa.
Hare Krishna. I create this cosmos by such penance, I maintain it by the same energy, and I withdraw it by the same energy. Therefore, the potential power is penance only.
Text 25. Brahma Vacha Bhagavan Sarvabhutanam Adhyaksho Vastito Guham Vedahi Apratirutena Pragyanena Chikirshitam.
Lord Brahma said, O personality of Godhead, you are situated in every living entity's heart as the supreme director, and therefore you are aware of all endeavors by your superior intelligence without any hindrance whatsoever.
Text 26. Tathapi तथापि नाथमानस्य नाथनाथाय नाथितं परावरे यथा रूपे जानीयां ते त्वरूपिणा.
Translation. In spite of that, my Lord, I am praying to you to kindly fulfill my desire. May I please be informed how, in spite of your transcendental form, you assume the mundane form, although you have no such form at all.
Text 27. यथात्मा माययोगेन नानशक्ति उपभ्रमितं विलुम्पान् विसृजन् गृह्णान् बिभ्रदात्मानमात्मना.
Translation. And please inform me how you, by your own self, manifest different energies for annihilation, generation, acceptance, and maintenance by combination and permutation.
Text 28. कृदास्यमोघसङ्कल्प ऊर्णनाभिर्यथोर्णते तथा तद्विषयां देहि मनीषा मायि माधव.
Translation. O Master of all energies, please tell me philosophically all about them. You play like a spider that covers itself by its own energy, and your determination is infallible.
Text 29. भगवच्चिक् भगवच्चिक्षितमहं करवाणि यतन्द्रिता नेहमाना प्रजा सर्गं पद्येयां यदनुग्रहात्.
Translation. Please tell me so that I may be taught in the matter of by the instruction of the personality of Godhead, and may thus act instrumentally to generate living entities without being conditioned by such activities.
Text 30. यावत् सखा Text 30. यावत् सख्योर्विशतकृता प्रजविसर्ज्य विभाजमि भोजनम् अविक्रमस्ते परिकर्मणि स्थितो मामे समुन्नतमदोजमानिना.
Translation. O my Lord, the unborn, you have shaken hands with me just as a friend does with a friend, as if equal in position. I shall be engaged in creation of different types of living entities, and I shall be occupied in your service. I shall have no perturbation, but I pray that all this may not give rise to pride as if I were the supreme.
Text 31. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Yanam Paramat Guhyam Me Yad Vigyana Samanvitam Sarahasyam Tadangam Cha Grahana Gaditam Maya.
Translation. The personality of Godhead said, knowledge about me, as described in the scriptures, is very confidential, and it has to be realized in conjunction with the devotional service. The necessary paraphernalia for that process is being explained by me, You may take it out carefully.
Text 32. यावनहं यथा भावो यद्रूपगुणकर्मकः तथैव तत्त्वविज्ञानम् अस्तु ते मदनुग्रहात्.
Translation: all of me, namely my actual eternal form and transcendental existence, color, qualities, and activities, let that all be awakened within you by factual realization out of my causeless mercy.
Text 33. Ahameva samevagre nanyad sadasatparam paschadaham yadetacca yovashishyeta sosmyaham.
Translation: Brahma, it is I, personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation when there was nothing but myself, nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see is also I, the personality of Godhead, and after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead.
Text 34. Vitartam yat pratyeta na pratyeta chatmani tadvidyadatmano mayam yatha bhaso yatha tama.
Translation: O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, it, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. No, it is as my illusionary energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness.
Text 35. Yatha mahanti bhutani यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु च विशिष्टनु प्रविष्टानि अप्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न तेष्वहम्.
Translation: O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created, and at the same time I am outside of everything.
Text 36. एतावदेव जिज्ञासां तत्त्वजिज्ञासनात्मना अन्वयव्यतिरेक्याभं यत् स्यात् सर्वत्र सर्वदा.
Translation: A person who is searching after the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, most certainly search for it up to this, in all circumstances, in all spaces and time, both directly and indirectly.
Text 37. एतन्मतं समाधिष्ठा परमेन परमेन समाधिना भवान् कल्पविकल्पेषु न विमुह्यति कर्हिचित्.
Translation: O Brahma, just follow this conclusion by fixed concentration of mind, and no pride will disturb you, neither in the partial nor in the final devastation.
Text 38. Sri Sukha Vacha Sampradishyeva Majano Jananam Parameshtinam Pashyatastasya Tadrupam Atmano Nyaranadhari.
Translation: Shukadev Goswami said to Maharaj Pariksit, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, after being seen in his transcendental form, instructing Brahmaji, the leader of the living entities, disappeared.
Text 39. अन्तर्हितेन्द्रियार्थाय हरये विहिताञ्जलि सर्वभूतामयो विश्वं ससर्जेदं सपूर्ववत्.
Translation: On the disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, who is the object of transcendental enjoyment for the senses of devotee, Brahma, with folded hands, began to recreate the universe, full with living entities as it was previously.
Text 40. Prajapate Dharmapate Ekada Niyaman Yaman Bhagram Prajanam Anvichan Athishtat Svarta Kamyaya.
Translation. Thus, once upon a time, the forefather of living entities and the father of religiousness, Lord Brahma, situated himself in acts of regulatory principles, desiring self-interest for the welfare of all living entities.
Text 41. Tam Narada Priyatamo Rikta Dana Manovrata Shushu Samana Shilena Prashrayena Damena Cha.
Translation. Narada, the most dear of the inheritor sons of Brahma, always ready to serve his father, strictly follows the instruction of his father by his mannerly behavior, meekness, and sense control.
Text 42. Mayam Vividisan Vishnu Maya Shasya Mahamani Mahabhagavato Rajan Pitaram Paryatoshayat.
Translation. Narada very much pleased his father and desired to know all about the energies of Vishnu, the master of all energies, for Narada was the greatest of all sages and greatest of all devotees, O king.
Text 43. Tushtam Nishamya Pitaram Lokanam Prapita Lokanam Prapitamaham Devashi Paripapracha Bhavanyan Manuprachati.
Translation. The great sage Narada also inquired in detail from his father Brahma, the great grandfather of all universe, after seeing him well satisfied.
Text 44. Tasmadam Bhagavatam Puranam Dashalakshanam Proktam Bhagavata Praha Prita Putraya Bhutagrat.
Translation. Thereupon, the supplementary Vedic literature Srimad Bhagavatam, which was described by the personality of Godhead and which contains the 10 characteristics, was told with satisfaction by Father Brahma to his son Narada.
Text 45. Narada Prahamunaye Saraswatyastate Nrapa Dhyayate Brahma Paramam Vyasaya Mitatejase.
Translation. In succession, O king, the great sage Narada instructed Srimad Bhagavatam unto the unlimitedly powerful Vasudev, who meditated in devotional service upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, on the bank of river Saraswati.
Text 46. Yadutaham tvaya prishto vairajat purushadidam yathashisi tadupakshaste prasnanyanyam chakritsanasa.
Translation. O king, your question as how the universe became manifested from the gigantic form of the personality of Godhead, as well as other questions, I shall answer it in detail by explanation of the 4 verses already mentioned. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to recite. Please forgive me any mistake was made. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear Palika Mataji and dear Ishita, for such a wonderful recitation. Thank you so much. Can we see the slides on the screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, we'll start with the prayers. Om Namo
Gaurangi, you're muted.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you because you are muted.
Okay, I think there is some problem with my internet connection. I'll keep my video off. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं कृष्णचैतन्य ईश्वरम् नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी ततां प्रसङ्गान् मम वीर्यसंविदो भवन्ति हृत्कर्णरसायणा कथाः तज्जोषनादाशपवर्गवर्त्मनि श्रद्धारतिर्भक्तिरनुक्रमिष्यति Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome you to Chat Plus, Chapter a Day Srimad Bhagavatam. And I offer my respectful obeisances to all the devotees on call, and I seek your blessings so we can discuss the very important episode of this chapter, Canto 2 Cosmic Manifestation, Chapter 9, Answers by Citing the Lord's Version. And today's verses are 32 and 33. At some point, if I'm not audible, then please let me know. Then I will see what can be done regarding my. Am I audible at the moment?
Yes, Mataji, you are. We can
Okay,
hear
great.
you.
Thank you so much. Just give me one moment. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. So, yes, so this chapter has four seed verses, as we all know, spoken by Lord Vishnu directly to Brahmaji in the beginning of creation, and they are called Chatushloki Bhagavatam. It starts from 33rd verse. So till now, in this chapter, the contents are, as we all know, now we are on to today's verses are 32 and 33. So how did we come up to this word? So just a quick summary that first three shlokas in this chapter, um, they are the answers to Parikshit's questions. What is spirit, soul and material body? And the difference between Lord's body and Brahma's body, that is Jiva's body. And now Brahma manifested, we know how Brahma manifested from the lotus that emanated from Garbhodakshai Vishnu's navel. And then he heard Tapa Tapa from Lord Vishnu. And by the mercy and inspiration of the Lord, he engaged himself in devotional tapasya and he meditated on the Lord for 1,000 celestial years. And in response, Lord Vishnu revealed his Mahavaikuntha to Brahmaji, who saw Lord Vishnu being worshipped by so many energies and his servants, Vishnu Parshadas, Lakshmi Devi, and he saw their activities, that how they are glorifying the Lord. And then Lord speaks to Brahmaji that he only inspired him to do the tapa, and now he's enlivened and empowered to do the creation. Lord is best of bestowers of benedictions, and he's now ready to give any benediction Brahma wants. Lord is also called Varesha, the one who is the giver of boons. So Brahmaji felt very fortunate. Darshan of Vishnu's abode itself is a great benediction. And on top of it, Brahmaji was also able to see the Lord. He was able to talk to the Lord. And now Lord is offering him many benedictions. He's saying, ask whatever benediction you have. And so now Brahmaji starts asking some questions, and in response to those questions, Lord will start speaking Chatushloki Bhagavatam. So then the next verses 26 to 30. So 5 verses are spoken by Brahma. They are the questions to the Lord. And thereafter 31 to 36 verses, Lord speaks those verses. And 33 to 36 are Chatushloki. So in the 26th verse, Brahmaji asked his first question that please tell me about your material and spiritual form. And also Parikshit Maharaj had asked similar question in the previous chapter. We know when he asked many questions. So from there, 2-3 questions are also answered within this Chatushloki. Then the second question Brahmaji is asking is that how does your material and spiritual energies function? How do they work? Then he is asking the third question, that what are your activities in relation to your material and spiritual energies, and how do you act through them? That is also one of the questions in the previous chapter by Parikshit Maharaj. And then 29th and 30th verse, Brahmaji, it's not really a question, but it's a concern of Brahmaji. He is actually concerned that he wants Lord's guidance and mercy, because when he will do the Visarga, the secondary creation, he is worried that he will enter into a doership mentality, and thus he might become proud and he might be get affected by bondage. So he is asking for Lord's guidance and mercy that how he can enter into a doership mentality and
We can't hear you now, Divya Gaurangi.
Hare Krishna. Mataji will be back very soon. She's just re-logging in again.
Hare Krishna. I'm so sorry, my computer just had to restart. It just shut off on its own. Just give me one moment. I'll open the slides. Yes, so we were discussing about the 4 questions of Brahmaji, and these questions are basically answered. The first question, he wants to know about Lord's material and spiritual form. So that is answered in the 33rd shloka. So that is Gnana Sambandha, most confidential knowledge about Krishna's form. Then the second question is answered in the 34th shloka, which is called, that is also Sambandha Tattva, Vijnana. Vijnana is realized knowledge of Krishna. And the third question will be answered in 35th shloka, which is the Prayojana Tattva, which means it is also called Sarahasyam. What is Prayojana? Krishna Bhakti. Krishna Bhakti is the goal after knowing the Gnana and Vijnana. And the last question's answer is Abhideya Tattva, Sadhana Bhakti. So we will see how. Also in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a beautiful shloka concerning these 3 tattvas. Bhagavateira Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana Chatushlokite Prakatatara Kariyache Lakshana. The essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, our relationship with the Supreme Lord, our activities in that connection and the goal of life is manifest in the 4 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Chatushloki. Everything is explained in those verses. So what is Sambandha Tattva? Sambandha Tattva refers to the knowledge about Krishna's Swarupa, knowledge about our own relationship with Krishna, how we are connected to Krishna. So we know that we are parts and parcel of Krishna, we are servants of Krishna. And so that is the most confidential, important knowledge. Like we know in Bhagavad Gita 9.1, right? uh, Krishna gives Arjun the most confidential knowledge that is called Guhyatam knowledge, right? So that is the knowledge. What is our relationship with Krishna, and what are the Krishna's different attributes, and how we are connected, and how to revive that relationship. So the next is Abhideya, which is called Tadangam. That is what is the process of reviving this relationship with Krishna again. So that is Bhakti Yoga, the sadhana bhakti. And Prayojana is Sarahasyam, which refers to results of our sadhana. That is the revival. And the result is attaining Krishna Prem, to develop love for Krishna. And bhava is the first result, and prema, bhava comes first, and then prema is the ultimate. So in Chatushloki Bhagavatam, first 2 verses are Gnana and Vijnana, 33-34, which is Sambandha Tattva. And last verse is Abhideya Tattva, the process. And the third verse is Prayojan, the goal. And how to attain this goal? That is the Angam, that is the Sadhana Bhakti, which is the last verse, right? So yesterday we also studied the 31st shloka, which is actually the like a indexed or contents table of Chatushloki. In every book, in the beginning there is a contents, what is in that book. So again in this verse, in the index table, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Gnanam Paramaguhyam Me Yad Vignana Samanvitam Sarahasyam Tadangam Cha Gruhana Gaditam Maya. So basically in this verse, it is like an index table. So what it means is that what can we expect in Chatushloki is mentioned in this verse, right? So let's have a look. Gnana, first of all. What is Gnana? That is like the most secret knowledge about Krishna's form. So in 9.1, Krishna says, Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyami anasuyave gnanam vignana sahitam yagnatma mokshase subhat. So Krishna says that, dear Arjuna, because you are not envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization. Gnana is the knowledge, Vignana is realized knowledge. So basically, even I was reading today's quote by Srila Prabhupada that whatever we learn in the Shastra, if we don't try to apply it in our life to better or transform our character, basically, if we don't try to cultivate those good qualities, then our gnana is wasted. So gnana should become vignana. We should realize it, apply it, and internalize it. Then that is the best utility of studying the Shastras and knowing Krishna. Knowing the knowledge about Krishna, we should transform ourselves for our own good. So that is gnana and vignana here, as it is in this index table of 31st verse. And then it talks about rahasyam. So what is rahasyam? That is the prayojana, goal of life. And here in 7.3, it says manushyanam sahasreshu kashchit yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tatvataha. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So it's true, right? To apply the knowledge is not easy, and to live, to back up everything we do in our life with Shastras, how many people can do it? How many actually endeavor? And then how many can actually perfect it? But that is the goal of life. If we do, then we can attain Krishna Prema, which is the ultimate. And again in 7.15, Bahunam Janmanamante Gnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me. Knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is, such a great soul is very rare. And Krishna says here, Lord Vishnu says that if Brahma accepts this best of knowledge, if he takes it up carefully, he will also definitely attain the Lord. So here we saw Gnana, Vignana, Sarahasyam, and then Tadangam. So Sarahasyam means Prayojana. What is Tadangam? That is the Abhideya Tattva. That means to attain that Prayojana, what we need to do is sadhana bhakti, practice devotional service. And we know that there are five most potent forms of bhakti, angas of bhakti. Anga means a limb in bhakti, right? And this tadangam is, first of all, sadhu sangha, nam kirtana, bhagavata shravana, mathurava, Sri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevana. So basically, deity worship, Nam Sankirtan, that is chant the holy names of the Lord, study Srimad Bhagavatam, Shravanam of Bhagavatam, study it, read it, discuss it with devotees, Vaishnava Seva and Sadhu Sangha, and Mathura or Dhamavas, Vrindavan, Mathura, Mayapur, all these dham, one should visit, one should take it up as residence or do services there. So these are like the most five that is called the Abhideya Tattva. So all of this is there in Chatushloki, Gnana, Vignana, Tadangam and Sarahasyam. So that is basically Chatushloki Bhagavatam. And we know that today's verse 32 and 33, the purports are extremely long, but I'm sure you are all also studying Bhagavatam at home and reading the purports here so nicely every day, attending Chat Plus, all the regular devotees. So I hope you have Srimad Bhagavatam copy in front of you, and from there I am going to be reading the important parts of the purports because Obviously, my internet is also very much fluctuating. If I try and share too many screens, I don't know whether it is what's happening today. I don't know with the computer and internet, but we'll try our best. So, verse 32. यावानहं यथा भावो यद्रूपगुणकर्मकः तथैव तत्त्वविज्ञानम् अस्तु ते मद अनुग्रहात्. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All of me, namely my actual eternal form and my transcendental existence, color, qualities, and activities, let all be awakened within you by factual realization out of my causeless mercy. So, Lord's actual eternal form and his transcendental existence, his qualities, activities, his Nam, Roop, Gun, Lila, the Swarupa of the Lord, is Sambandha Gnan, and everything will be revealed to Brahma by Lord's mercy. So, basically, in verse number 32, there is just one it's important thing here that Lord is saying that all of me, my form and about me, Nam, Roop, Gun, Lila, you will be able to understand it all by my causeless mercy. Now, that is true, right? Without Krishna's mercy, we cannot understand anything. And here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that the secret of success, I'm reading the first three lines in the purport. The secret of success in understanding the intricacies of knowledge of the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, is the causeless mercy of the Lord. Then further down, Prabhupada says that here we can see that the Lord is sufficiently pleased with Brahmaji, and therefore he offers his causeless mercy to him so that Brahmaji may have the factual realization of the Lord by his mercy only. So we can see that even Brahma was able to do the tapa, or the inspiration he got to do the tapasya also came from the Lord. And then Lord bestowed him the ability also to do that. So the inspiration to offer prayer also comes from the Lord. And then the ability to be able to offer prayer also comes from the Lord. And if we have any spiritual desires, then that spiritual desires will be fulfilled also only by the mercy of the Lord, and he will fulfill it when he will see our surrender, when he will see that our bhakti is pure, it is not motivated by selfish desires, it is ahaituki apratihata, then definitely Lord will fulfill those desires. Then Prabhupada says in the second paragraph, in the Vedas also it is said that a person cannot know the absolute truth simply by dint of mundane education or intellectual gymnastics. One can know the supreme truth if one has unflinching faith in the bona fide spiritual master as well as in the Lord. So we know 434 verse in Bhagavad Gita, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So we need to first of all surrender to Guru and in a very humble mood inquire from him, hear from him, then we can understand. It doesn't happen by intellectual gymnastics, means trying to understand it by our own capacity. We think, oh, I will study this and understand without my guru's help. No, so spiritual knowledge is not attained in that way. That's what Srila Prabhupada is saying. He is saying that truth, if one has unflinching faith in the bona fide spiritual master as well as in the Lord, such a faithful person, even though illiterate in the mundane sense, can know the Lord automatically by the mercy of the Lord. So we know this story about South Indian Brahmana, right? He was in this temple in South India where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was visiting. And he saw that he was just looking at the cover page of Bhagavad Gita, just looking at all the pages and crying. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, what is it? He said, my spiritual master instructed me to read Bhagavad Gita. Now, I am not very educated, but I am trying to read this because my Guru instructed me. It is his instruction. And secondly, I am crying because I am looking at this cover page that how the Supreme Lord is a chariot driver to Arjuna. He has taken such a humble position, how much he loves his devotee, although I cannot read Bhagavad Gita because I am not literate. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so happy with this Brahmana. He gave him a embrace and he said that you may not be literate, but you have understood the complete tattva of Bhagavad Gita because you have two things. You have surrendered to your Guru, you have faith in your Guru, and secondly, you have understood Krishna's heart, that he is Bhakta Vatsala. You have understood the tattva. So this is what it means that it is not intellectual gymnastics or our research. Many times, even when someone is speaking Bhagavatam or Krishna Katha, they may have prepared so many things, but ultimately, when we are speaking, it is all inspired by the Lord. It all comes through the Lord. We are literally an instrument of Krishna here. We are representatives of Krishna or Guru, Parampara. We are not, we are nobody here really. It is only happening by the mercy of the Lord. And that is the right mood to study the Shastra or speak Krishna Katha. So that's what here Lord Vishnu is saying to Brahmaji, that by my mercy you will understand everything here. So, and another important point in this purport is that Lord is not formless, as wrongly conceived by impersonalists, but his form is not like one that we have experienced. The Lord discloses his form even to the extent of measurement to his pure devotees, and that is the meaning of Yavan, as explained by Srila Jiva Goswami, the greatest scholar of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Lord has a form, and in the spiritual world, there are many forms and there are many activities, and there are forms. Lord is personal. Then in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that I am now reading towards the end of the purport. The Lord has unlimited numbers of transcendental qualities, and one of them is his affection for his unalloyed devotee. The Lord incarnates himself for the protection of his devotees and for the annihilation of the faithless. His activities are in relationship with his devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of such activities of the Lord in relationship with his devotees, and the non devotees have no knowledge of such pastimes. So, if one does not have any faith, they cannot understand the pastimes of Bhagavatam. And the best example of it is that when you speak about Krishna lifting Govardhan hill at age when he was merely 7 years old boy, that is, Prabhupada says, unbelievable for the faithless. But for the devotees, it is absolutely believable. The devotee believes in the almighty potency of the Lord, while the faithless say that the Lord is almighty but do not believe it. Such men with a poor fund of knowledge do not know that the Lord is the Lord eternally, and that one cannot become the Lord by meditation for millions of years, by mental speculation for billions of years. So that's how the purport concludes, and Srila Prabhupada says that all the descriptions of the transcendental nature of the Lord are factual realizations by the devotee of the Lord, and by the causeless mercy of the Lord, they are revealed to his pure devotee and not to anyone else. So now Brahmaji will be able to understand whatever Lord is going to speak, which is in the verse 33. The first Chatushloki Bhagavatam CS1, Chatushloki 1, which is Sambandha Tattva, as we said, Gnana about Krishna Swarupa. Because what did Brahmaji ask? He is asking here, right, that he wants to know the Swarupa of the Lord. He wants to know about the material and spiritual forms of the Lord, right? Please tell me about your material and spiritual form. So now Lord will speak. He says, here in verse number 33, Ahamevasamevaग्रे नान्यद् यत्सद् सत्परं पश्चादहं यदेतच्च यो वशिष्येत सोऽस्म्यहम्. Translation: Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was there in the material nature, the cause of who was existing before the creation, when there was nothing but myself. Nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, the personality of Godhead, and after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead. So let's see, there are 4 lines to this verse. Aham eva samevagre. What is Krishna saying? Krishna says, I alone existed before the creation, right? So we are living in this material universe. Before this material universe was created, Krishna is saying he existed already. He always existed, whether this material universe existed or not. Krishna and his spiritual world and his entourage, everything existed before creation. Then he says, Nanyad yat sat asat param. That Brahman, which is superior to effect, sat, and cause asat, is not different from me. Now, here, Brahman is the effulgence of the Lord. So, generally, Brahman is understood to be impersonal or formless. But Lord says that I am a personality, and Brahman, which is superior to cause and effect, is non different from me. So, here, Brahman is superior to cause and effect. What does it mean? Does anyone want to? I mean, it's a question to all of you. When I was reading this today, I was thinking, what does this mean? And then, after reading it, finally clicked, but I got some idea. So, anyone wants to say what is Brahman superior to? What is Sat Asat? What is cause and effect? Anyone? What is Brahman superior to? Just so that we are all we are all awake, I know, and we are all thinking also, not just me speaking. I just thought I have some interaction here. Any of you? What is Brahman? What could Brahman be superior to? Brahman is effulgence of the Lord, right? It's beyond which world? Okay. So you can hear me? Anyone?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, that's good because I can't see anything and my video is off. So today, actually, I'm speaking to computer. But yes, so yeah, so what it means here is that Sat Asat, where is cause and effect? Where does karma take place? Which world? Where is action and reaction happen?
It's happened in the material world.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So material world. So that's what Krishna is saying, that the my Brahman, which is my non-different from me, Nanyad. Nanyad means Nanyad. It
Mm.
is non-different to me because it is my energy and it is superior to the material world where Sat and Asat take place. Means where their karma takes place, where is action and reaction take place, and that is mundane and it is temporary and it happens on the material plane in this material world. So spiritual Brahman is beyond material causes and effects. That's what this second line means, right? That Nanyad Yat Sad Asat Param. First line means that I always existed before the creation of material world. Then second line means that Brahman, which is superior to material world, is non-different to me. Nanyat yat sat asat param, right? Then the third line is paschadaham yadetacha. So paschat, even after the creation, only I exist. Means after the material world is created, then Krishna only exists. How? Because he maintains. We know Lord Vishnu is in charge of the goodness mode, and goodness mode is under maintenance. Like creation is under the mode of passion, Brahmaji does, and the destruction is under mode of ignorance, which is under Lord Shiva. So here he says that only I exist even during the maintenance phase.
Mm.
So here Krishna is saying that after it is created, Krishna exists during maintenance phase, and after the last line says universe is destroyed, and
Annihilate.
yeah, while it is being destroyed, what remains is Krishna only. Yo vashishyeta sosmyaham. I alone remain at and after destruction. So the first Chatushloki is the most confidential knowledge, Gnana, about Krishna's Swarupa, which is a Sambandha Tattva, which means that Krishna says Aham eva sameva gre. I alone existed before creation. Nanya Yat Sad Asat Param. That Brahman which is superior to the material, mundane, temporary world, that Brahman is non different from me. It is part of me. And while there is maintenance happening in the world, material world, that time also I exist, and at the time of destruction also I exist. So here Prabhupada in the purport focuses on the word aham. And we can see here 3 times aham word comes. First here aham, then again in the third line aham and aham. So normally aham word indicates false ego, but here it refers to I or me, and who is that I? Lord Vishnu. So 3 times aham comes means I, Krishna, exists before creation, during maintenance phase, and after creation. Krishna continuously exists. His existence is beyond the purview of material creation, maintenance, and destruction, right? Because if you remember, Brahma asked about spiritual and material forms, both. So, Lord is talking about the spiritual form, that all the spiritual form existed before the creation of material world. They exist after the creation, and they exist even when the annihilation takes place. And when the material world is existing, that time also Lord is there as Virat Rupa. We know, right, that everything that exists in this material world is from the energy of Krishna. We learnt in the 5th chapter of 2nd canto, the creation chart, whereby we know all the elements, everything came from the Lord. So, when we say Lord existed before creation, means everything spiritual existed. His abode is there. There are thousands, multiple Vaikuntha lokas are there. His associates are there. His pastimes existed. We know his spiritual forms and expansions like Matsya, Kurma, Varaha Dev, Narsimha Dev. They all exist, and they all have their own planets. They permanently exist, continuously exist. That's what Lord is saying. All the Vaikuntha lokas and all the spiritual forms, so many Vishnu Murtis, so many planets. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a complete description of Lord's multiple sky is the limit. That many expansions are there. They are called Vilasa and Prakasha expansions. They all existed. So Lord's pastimes existed, and here it is quite clear that every Lord is there permanently. And when universe is existing, that time also Lord is existing, right? That is his sat potency, which means that right. So we can say that the super soul within our heart, Lord is existing, right? Shirodakshay Vishnu. Right now, the material universe is going on. We are maintaining our body with the super soul in the heart. So Lord is there. And in this world, we know in one kalpa, one day of Brahma, so many incarnations come: Matsya, Karma, Akurma, Varaha, Narsingha Dev, Vamana Dev. All these incarnations take place. That is happening during the maintenance phase when the Lord material universe is existing. So we know all of this, right? And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that all the planets and living beings, they did not exist means they are eternal, but they were in, see, all of us are also always eternal, but we are in the sleep mode at the time of destruction. Everything goes back at the end of Brahma's day in Garbhodakshai, Vishnu's body. But when the end of the Brahma's life, everything goes back in Mahavishnu's body. We are all there, but on the sleep mode. So, and all the jivas are in active state within Mahavishnu's body before creation. Then the creation takes place, and then we all, against with our karma and swabhava, are reborn. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that the example of the sun is very appropriate in this connection. He says that the sun in the night may not be visible to the eyes of men in the darkness, but the sun is visible wherever it has risen. That the sun is not visible to the eyes of the inhabitants of a particular part of the earth does not mean that the sun has no form. The sun always exists. At night we can't see it, so we can't say the sun is not there, right? Because sun has risen on the another part of the globe. sun is always there. If we can't see, means we can't say the sun doesn't exist. So basically, that's what is my understanding of this verse. And if any of you have any realization, and if you would like to add to this verse, please go ahead. Or yes, and meanwhile, I will try to open if I can. I don't know why I'm not able to. 1 second. Yeah, okay. Yes, anyone wants to share anything? Meanwhile, I'll try to open.
Now, what I understand, thank you very much for your class, Divya Gaurangi.
Yes,
There is really wonderful. This Sloki Bhagavatam is so nice and so much to understand here, because it's really one of the most important verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. So if we
yes.
understand clearly, then it's better for us to go through this Bhagavatam beyond this chapter, because
Mm.
I mean, very, very basic understanding that how much, Krishna is the one who is there always, whether after creation, beyond creation, before creation, after annihilation. That's what he said. Whatever happened, I am the one who exists. We
Mm.
are just, according to our karma, we come and goes, and so we go in the cycle. But Lord is always existing. And only thing I find that Brahma is, so powerful. He's been given so much power. Even Krishna has given him so much power. I mean, he shook his hand with Brahma, and
Yes.
he, he had he was empowered by his knowledge and personal touch. And but he also made a he makes mistake. He made mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I just wonder. I mean, who are we? We're full of faults and things like that. So, how much we have to develop ourselves spiritually, to understand these Bhagavatam, actually. It is not easy to understand.
Mm.
Is
Yes.
my understanding.
Yes, absolutely, Mataji. Brahmaji has also made so many mistakes. Like there is that Vak episode, then there
Yeah.
is also Brahma Vimohan Leela, many other episodes. And as you said, I really liked you said that that's the lesson for us that if the great soul like Brahmaji can make a mistake, then we can definitely make a mistake. So we should be always on our guard. And one of the purpose, Srila Prabhupada says that. A jiva should be always aware, he should always have a healthy fear of fall down, that I could also fall down. And hence, he should always pray for protection. That Lord, I could also fall down, and that's why I pray for protection to protect me from your Maya. Because even in Bharat Maharaj case, Mataji, right, we know that he had compassion for the deer, and the Maya caught him through a good quality of compassion, even
Mm.
he fell down from that stage of bhava stage, right? So we know that Maya is so strong, and if something like great souls it can happen, then obviously we have to take it as a lesson and not look down on them. But we have to be so be on our guard that this can definitely happen to me if it happened to great soul. So I have to be very careful. And but we are studying Bhagavatam together and we are trying. So I think we have to real. I think it's so fortunate that due to Srila Prabhupada's mercy, this is available and accessible to us. And then further, we hear our Shiksha and Diksha gurus and try to understand it further. So I just think it is so fortunate that this is available. And as Prabhupada says in the purport, that how many people are even trying to understand, at least open Bhagavatam or read.
We are
So,
very fortunate by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada.
yeah, and devotees association, Prabhupada says, is what will protect you also. So always stay in devotees association no matter what. So that
That's
is,
why Bharat Maharaj, he fell down. If he had devotee around him at that time,
yes.
they would point out, what you're doing now. Just would advise him or say something that would bring him into this state, that so that he couldn't be he couldn't be
Yes.
so attached to a deer, because he wasn't with the devotees association. That's why it came to that stage that, he fall because he's a wonderful, pure devotee. I mean, he gave up everything and came to the forest, and then eventually followed. Devotees association is so important.
Yes.
If we are not surrounded by the devotee, we are in a fallen stage, but we can even fall down further.
Yes, absolutely, Mataji. And this false ego, Srila Prabhupada says, aham refers to false ego, that how we get into this doership mentality. And that's why Brahmaji is praying here that please protect me, Lord, so that I don't get bound by my creation activities. And even great person like Brahmaji is praying. So definitely prayer is a very important part. I feel in Bhagavatam, there are so many prayers, and praying definitely helps. So yes, thank you so much for your wonderful realizations, Mataji. And
Also, I feel, that, like we have few groups where we do regular discussion of Bhagavatam. That's also helping between the chat. If we small groups, if we regularly discuss, one verse a day, because I'm in a few groups, and it's such a wonderful way of keeping in touch with the scripture, by understanding each other. Then we some of the words we sort of we discuss, and then it's a letter, no, this could be also this, so it's good to find that ways of few devotees discuss together. It's a very wonderful way to progress our spiritual,
absolutely. Yes, Mataji, definitely. And devotees can contact Palika Mataji. Mataji is mentioning there are other groups also to discuss. So please, we should do that. The more we discuss, the better. And we can learn from each other. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing that. And yes, so the next verse is Sambandha, and that is the Vijnana. Again, Sambandha Tattva, Vijnana. So relationship between Lord and Maya, that will be verse 34, Chatushloki 2, will be discussed on Friday and then Sunday. And Monday again, I think will be on verse 36. So thank you so much for your participation. And sorry about my internet connection today. I don't know what happened. So thank you so much, and please forgive if I made any mistakes. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhagavad Gita ki jai, all the Vaishnavas ki jai, Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhu
Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo.
Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji, for wonderful class.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, everyone. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.